Hey there, MJ traders and investors. It's Rod with Powell Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth for an MJ Sector review. Today's a review for Wednesday, May 19th. And in today's video, we're going to be discussing why high tide was down today. It was down about 15%. So there was some dilution news that came out. So before we jump into today's video, make sure to smash the like and subscribe to the channel. We'll go over some news and events, and I'll also put some timestamps in the description below, but we'll go over some news and events for the day in the sector, and then we'll look at the Canadian and the US MJ charts and what to expect into tomorrow and the rest of the week. So high tide got slammed today, announcing 15 million bought deal public offering. This comes just after their share split as well, and that was a 15-1. So stock got absolutely crushed today. If you're wondering why it was down, that is why, on that dilution news. And we'll take a look at the chart here as to why we sort of could have expected this, just from a few clues on the chart that we've been pointing out for a while now in this channel. So Senate bill would allow CBD infused foods, drinks, and dietary supplements. And this just reminds me of Hexo's purchase of a new facility in Colorado. They just released CBD drops as well in Colorado. And this is something that we know that they're potentially looking at a non-beverage CPG partner. And here we are getting this news about CBD being able to be infused in foods and dietary supplements. They keep saying health and wellness and edibles and cosmetics. So this could very well be on the cusp of something huge. You can check out that article in its entirety, but just a master plan coming together extremely well for Hexo, in my opinion. DEA close to allowing companies to grow MJ for scientific research. Also, in other news, Samuel Adams Brewer to start to research MJ beverages in Canada, which again, Hexo and Molson Coors just leading the innovation, right? Finally, they're just Samuel Adams starting to quote unquote research when you've already got Hexo and Molson Coors already selling in the #1 in that category, and more competitors are starting to join the space and trying to fall in line to not get left in the dust, so to speak. Canopy has Constellation Brands, but in my opinion, their drinks are terrible. I really don't like any of them that much. I don't buy any of them, repeat buying. I literally 100% of my drink purchases are basically Hexo, and that shows that they are #1 in that category after a late head start. Canopy had about a 6-month head start. So Rite Aid Pharmacy CEO says not ruling out carrying MJ products either. So that could be a huge compliment. And there's just so many bullish catalysts ahead. I'm super excited for the next year or so. The next 6 to 18 months, I think, are going to be tremendous, and I think 2022 is going to be the year of MJ. Let me know in the comments below if you agree with me, if you're excited for the future, because there's a lot to be excited about. And this U.S. pharmacy chain has 2,500 stores in 17 U.S. states. So moving on to Canada's legal MJ market continues to erode the illicit market share. So take a look at this trend. You can see that the illicit market share is hovering right between 800 million and 600 million. And the legal market is just shy of going north of 1 billion, and the medicinal just under 200 million. So that would put us over a billion run rate there, which is absolutely incredible for 2020. Man, that's impressive. We're starting to see that trend, and we can continue to go a lot lower. Again, what are some of these companies' revenue is going to look like when the illicit market's down in the 200s and the 400s. That means that we could potentially see 20, 30, 40, maybe even 50% increase in some of these numbers, right? So huge, step in the right direction, but still a lot to work to go in that regard. So taking a look at high tide chart. So we did break bearish out of this pennant here, and we are looking to potentially save it here, as we did hold support. We had key support at 832 on the daily, and we topped out right at resistance. So if you didn't sell, yesterday, essentially, you're at risk because we were closer to resistance than we were support. We knew to be expecting a break here at some point, but in order to really believe that this is a bearish continuation and that we're going to see further downside, we need to lose the low here of 832 to be 100% confident. But as of right now, we're setting up a daily trend change attempt. So this could be our high or low here compared to 832. If we break the high up at $11. So if we break $11 from here, that's going to confirm a daily uptrend. And again, just had the share split there on the 13th, but that's going to confirm a daily uptrend. And at that point, our weekly bottom would be set and we could see a potential weekly bounce, but it is a weekly inside bar that's trying to break bullish. And again, falling bearish out of that pennant. But similar thing happened to Hexo as well before it broke out. So this could be a fake out before the breakout, so to speak. But similar thing happened on Hexo. I think I deleted it on the chart here for now, but not the end of the world. So just taking a look at the weekly. So we did have some heads up, right, on high tide. When we lost the 10-week moving average after that massive move, the stochastic and the MACD crossed bearish as well. So we had a heads up back on the beginning, the first week of April, that hey, high tide isn't all that hot at the moment. And then on the weekly, we got so far away from our weekly moving averages, right? If you're that far away from the moving average, you know that it's likely going to come back down to earth, so to speak. And we still have a long ways to go before we test the 50 weekly moving average, which is the nearest support that we have on the weekly at 548. On the daily time frame, again, back in the first week of April, we lost the 50-day moving average for the first time after that massive move. So again, lost the 10-week moving average, lost the 50-day moving average. We had two major red flags, and then we confirmed resistance. So yesterday on that pennant, and when we hit resistance, we also confirmed resistance and were unable to close above the 50-day moving average. So if you wanted to wait until we closed a day above, a candle above that 50-day moving average to resume higher, again, it's not completely game over yet for the bulls. As long as we hold the low here at 832, yep. As long as we hold that low and then we break $11 from here, that will confirm a daily uptrend and our weekly bottom will be set at that point. We also have the weekly VWAP sitting at 959. So a close over 959 to end this week would be bullish. And if we can close over 1046, the 10-week moving average, again, that'd be bullish. And the 50-day moving average sitting at 1061. If we were to close over $11 and confirm a daily uptrend, that would be extremely bullish. But again, just looking for our weekly bottoms to be set on most of our MJ names. We don't have really that much trading history in terms of the exponential moving averages, but we could see a bull cross line up here of EMA 12 and 26 as well. And we do have earnings coming up on the 23rd of June, so a little over a month away. So taking a look at the bull and bear list, we had High Tide, SNDL, and CanTrust. And then VLNS on the bull list, I don't think we had any. Actually, Oxley finished the day green. So I think that was the only name on my watch list in both Canadian and US sectors that was green. So congrats to the bulls there. Let's just take a look. MSOS wasn't down too much today. So yeah, C-Web closed green and Cara, but pretty much everything red today. Pretty much a bloodbath across the board. And MSOS still holding its support. So we have 37.56 and then 38.26. And then we've got major resistance up at 44.14. But the whole sector, I'm expecting a bounce sector-wide, both US and Canadian. I think there's going to be some sort of maybe news piece or something. There's going to be something that really just the whole market moves together, because if we take a look at most of these weekly time frames, they all look the same. They've just been beaten up beyond belief. And we have a lack of resistance on the weeklies on most of our weekly charts. If we take a look at BAM, barely any weekly resistance up until $1.14. Just take a look at some of our bigger names. So Trulieve. Trulive's a weekly inside bar, could see an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross, but after this resistance here at 53.88, we got a lack of resistance up until the all-time high at 67. Curaleaf, same deal. We just have one resistance here at 1884 on the weekly, and then a lack up till 23. CL. Oh man, that dip on Cara is just nasty. 29.65 down to CL. So again, no real. We've got one level here at 1676, another mini level at 1780, but a lack up to 2220. And I think that we've just been going south for, slow and steady, and it's just been lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. But we are starting to see a little less follow through on these attempts, right? So we're going to start watching for a potential falling wedge. We'll just draw that out roughly here, but we'll be watching as we're not seeing much follow through on these lower lows. And MSOS, so at this point it's a weekly inverse head and shoulders, and we are holding EMA 26, which is the most important. So if we can close the week over 38.97, that is going to be bullish in my opinion, but it was a struggle for the MJ space out there today. There was a lot of red, a sea of red, but in all things considered, with the sell-off in crypto, everything held up relatively well considering some crypto was down 50-40%. And check out my broader market video that I did today. Also found a pretty interesting survey in Australia. About 50% of the participants in that survey were wondering, or they thought that Elon Musk created Bitcoin. So check that video if you want to review the broader market. But going to end it there. Thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth for an MJ Sector review. And we shall see you tomorrow after market close.